Classically, medieval theologians spoke of truth and goodness as transcendentals, as convertible with being. That is to say, if something is a dog, then it's true that it's a dog. And if something is a dog, then it's good that it's a dog, at least as far as being a dog goes. What is true, and what is good. But we might ask, are truth and goodness in and of themselves convertible, or only by virtue of being convertible, each with being? The relevance of this question becomes acute in an age where philosophy can no longer take for granted a God-given order of things. Even if we wish ultimately to assert something like that, it's not our default position. We are all too acutely aware of human meaning-making getting in the way. Indeed, thinkers such as the philosopher Charles Taylor or the Catholic theologian Cornelius Ernst have suggested that meaning has come to assume the architectonic grounding role that being had for medieval thinkers. Ernst defines the premier instance of meaning as that praxis, that process and activity by which the world to which man belongs becomes the world which belongs to man. There are, from this point of view, as many ways of making meaning as there are strategies for making the world our own. Meaning is inescapably pluriform. And we just have to witness the fragmentation of the academy in this connection. Countless methodologies furnish countless varieties of truth, too bewilderingly diverse, we might fear, to be unified in anything more than a purely formalistic way. And at the highest level, meaning seems to be bifurcated by the apparent estrangement of truth and goodness. Science, we say, deals with truths, and ethics deals with values. Two kinds of meaning, each with their own specialists, each cut off from the other. It's supposed that where there is knowledge, there is power, but no guidance how that power is to be used. It's all very well knowing how to make an atomic bomb, but knowing that doesn't tell you that the bomb is bad. And more innocently, in the popular imagination, stereotypes associate ethical sensitivity with a kind of idealism or otherworldliness that can't face up to hard reality, or the scientist engrossed in his work with a lack of social grace and emotional perceptiveness. But deep down, this estrangement is belied by an intimate, if unconscious, connection. Precisely as something that can be pursued for its own sake, truth is good. And in fact, the hard-headed scientist has his own set of virtues of patience, of painstaking persistence, of pursuit of the truth no matter what, even at the cost of revising dearly cherished beliefs or long-held conceptions. And we think of journalists in a similar way, publishers and seekers of the truth against all the forces of disinformation and fake news in the world. So our orientation to the truth is in fact an ethically engaged stance. What of the other way round? In what sense is the good true? Well, one classical definition of truth is the conformity of intellect and reality. The mind, when it knows a truth, is sized up to the way that things really are. And our understanding of the good involves a similar sense of commensurality. A common complaint about naturalist worldviews, for instance, is that they simply fail to do justice to what a wonderfully mysterious world we inhabit and what fantastically complex creatures we are. Now, these are framed as judgments of value, and yet we take them to have a bearing on the tenability of a whole set of truth claims. In other words, perceptions of value size things up to the depth of meaning that we perceive in them, and in the attendant match or mismatch, we declare there to be truth or falsehood. The contemporary occupation with authenticity, I think, exhibits this sensitivity at the individual level. So we can affirm, we have reason to think, that the true and the good remain convertible. Truth imposes norms, it excites our desires. We recognize it as good. And a good is only such to the extent that it conforms to the truth of who or what we are and what we experience. The good as true is what we call authentic. When the good as true, or the true as good, is apprehended, we speak of an epiphany. Suddenly, we apprehend, as it were, luminously a meaning for ourselves, one that lays a claim on us existentially. Now, we can't inhabit perpetually such a state of epiphany, but these moments disclose to us the depths unconsciously plumbed by our meaning-making, or, in grace, a meaning that we could never have come up with ourselves.